condition, while condition, and statements. So we need to define the statements to execute. Actually, everywhere we need counter also. Counter. So counter plus plus minus minus, we have to define the counter. And what is the condition about the while is it executes the statements only when condition is true. So that is the difference with while and do while. So we just depend on this map, and we just depend on these iterators are now in the advanced programming everywhere. You will see very less people using do whiles in JavaScript, especially. Very rare. So we don't prefer these anymore now. So, but we just have to know the basics syntactically, how they are configured and defined. Now, I will give you some task also on that. You can try that. So initially, let's see how we can put all this and handle it in an example. So let's create a simple example here to understand all this. So we are configuring and creating one example now. Let's design. So we learned how to create tables or how we can create the content dynamically. So creating tables also important dynamically. So if you have complex data, now how you can present the complex data. So that is important. So for example, suppose you have seen this nested iterations. So with some complex data, first we need to understand here another process. You see now, let's write the function body load. So we have function body load. Body load is the function. And we have a table, and border is some 1, and some width is some 400 defined, and t head and t head are defined. We define here the details. Suppose we have already some data where products is equal to, it's an array of objects. We have name, so name, and we have price, some price. Initially we have just these two details, okay. And we have some image. So photo is some path, dot slash assets. We have where we have assets slash. So here we have speaker dot jpg. Like this, we have some details like casuals and price and photo, and that's it. Now, like this, you can have so many. Now we have .jpg. We need to generate this into a table. So in the table header, we have name, another table header price, another table header photo preview. Now below this, we have T body, table body. Now what we need to do here is, this is the table. So what we need to do here is, in this table, we need to generate rows dynamically. We need to create the rows dynamically. So how do we create the rows dynamically? So for that, and add to this table body, T body, then we have to use the ID for table body as T body. Okay. And we need to access the table body here. On load, where T body is document get element by ID, T body. So that is table body. Now we need to loop for where item of products, that is the collection. Now for every item inside this, every item is an object type. It contains name, price, string, like details. Now what we have to do is, for every item we need to generate a row. Then first we have to create a row. Document dot create element tr. Okay. And store in this reference. It can be any name. You can give any name for that. I just give a reasonable name. Okay. And I want 3 cells in that row. One for name, price, and preview. So then I cannot give TD for all the 3. What I will do, one is TD name, document dot create element, it is table cell TD. Another TD price, document dot create element TD. So another TD photo, so document create element TD. So that means we are creating 3 cells. One name cell, another price cell, another photo cell. TD name dot inner HTML. In name cell, we can put item name. That's good. In price cell, price dot inner HTML, we can put item price. But in photo cell, we need an image. Then we have to create image also dynamically. Where img, we are creating an image. Where img is equal to document dot create element img. And img dot src is equal to image item dot photo. img dot width is equal to some, so 50. img dot height is also 50. Now this image must be added into TD photo. That means TD photo dot append child. img image is added into that. Now all cells are ready. These 2 cells contain name and price. This cell contains photo. Before that, we created a photo and we applied the image. Now all these cells, 3 cells, must be added into table row tr. That means tr dot append child, td name. Order is also important. First cell name, tr dot append child, td price. Second cell price, tr dot append child, td photo. All the 3 cells are added into row. Now this row must be added into table body. T body dot append child tr. Like this you have to write. This is the lengthy logic. There is no shortcut. This is only the way. In JavaScript, this is only the way. There is no other technique. So if you want in a shorter way, then go to jQuery. In JavaScript, there is no other alternative way. This is the only way. So, and you see the table is generated dynamically. So we are creating a table and adding the data into the table dynamically. This we can do in a simple way in jQuery and other technologies in the front end which are recently used. But you cannot do more shorter here in JavaScript. It is the only way. So we have to configure and write in this. Now, once you know how to generate table for this kind of complex data, if you add anything new, suppose into array, I am adding new details. When I'm adding new details, it is pushed into it. So when I add name and I said, suppose shirt, and we have price, so some price, and we have photo, so assets/shirt.jpg, and it is going to get that and display. It's dynamically adding it. So that will update automatically. It will configure and update automatically. Now, the point is we have to configure that dynamically, add this dynamically using our JavaScript manipulations. So this is one basic technique of how to create a table. And this is only the way how you can do. So example here, create a table dynamically. So create a table dynamically, Yeah. So this is one simple example. The code I will give here, this is all the code for that. Now we will put this all together, conditions, iterations in one example and see how to create it. Let's create one example for all this. I'm creating here, so some shopping.html. And I'm designing here doc type HTML head title shopping. And so link relation is equal to style sheet. And href is equal to, so node modules, bootstrap, dist CSS, bootstrap CSS. And link relation is style sheet, href, and the node modules, bootstrap icons, dist, font, bootstrap icons.css. In the body section, let's keep the script source. So node modules, jQuery dist, jQuery.js. And another one is script source, that is node modules. And bootstrap dist js bootstrap bundle.js. And that is configured. Now, once you add this, let's create the design now. So I will keep an header. And so let's keep the class, so BG danger. And here we designed with some padding too. So, and let's add here heading, text center, okay. And text white, okay. And here we have span, and we defined as, so class BI, and BI shopping cart, cart is there, okay, cart, BI cart, okay, fine. So this is basic design we have for that card. Okay. And I given here some Amazon shopping something. So that is the text beside that span. Okay. Some now under that we will keep some content. Yep. So below that we have a section and div the class as row. In the row we have a div class as col. This is 2 or 3 columns. Yeah, 2 columns. And div class as call 8 and div class as call 2. So we have 12 columns distributed among these 3. So 3 columns are there now. Now left side, so we are adding the details. So we will define here the details like, so first keep a data div class as margin top 3 and label. So class form label, and here we have select a category, and below that we have a select element. It is having the class form select and have ID LST categories. Okay, that is one option left. And similarly we have another div, so that is select a product and LST products. That is another drop down we have. And similarly one more is here preview. So here we will display a div, so which will be a class card, and in the div we have class card header, and in this we have some heading. So heading and ID as LBL name, and we have some card body and image. So ID as some pic, okay, or IMG product. Reasonable names I will give. So width and height, and we have div. So we have another paragraph below that. ID as LBL price, and here we have the class card footer. All I keep as text center. Text center. So card footer also text center. And we are configuring here a button. So let's keep that class BTN and BTN, so danger. And here we have span and class BI and BA cart 4. Cart 4, okay. And here we defined add to cart. And we keep this as D grid. Okay, display grid. This is the design we are having for the content. Left side, we are having this content. And I will keep this all in a container fluid. Let's adjust a little bit. So this I will give as 3. so that another column I can change this to from 8 to 7. Okay, 7 columns. Okay, little bit width is important here. Yeah. Now this is the menu left side we are having. So here user can select a category. So we will add the categories, products, everything dynamically now. User can select a category, then only the selected category related products will come below. Select product, it will display the products. It will display the products related to the selected category. So categories list will be standard, but products list will be changing according to category. Now when user selects preview product, the product preview must come here. That means its name, price, photo, all the details must display. And right side here, we will keep a div. So class margin top 3 and D grid. And here we are defining another button. So we will put here a span. And so we will write, yeah, we will put a span, and here we will define class. So BI and BI cart. So cart 3. Some cart 3 is displayed like that. Okay. And here I will put BTN and BTN danger. So that is, and BTN some warning. Okay, and here I said your cart items. That's the display here. Right side, your cart items. How many items? So I want to display just below that or beside it. So here we will put a place for that. Your cart items, how many? So there we will put a span, and it will have an ID, LBL count. It will have the cart items count. It is currently empty. So that is the basic approach first we have designed. And now we need to keep this, yep, a header style I am giving. That will display with the span heading style. Okay, will be fine. Now we need to access the list dynamically and display that. So we need to add the list dynamically first. So we will write the logic for this, how to handle. So the functionality is when user selects any product and add to cart, that must be added to this shopping cart. In the cart items, it must show how many items are in the cart. We can keep that count updated and display. So some work is there here. Suppose I said outline warning. BTN outline warning. Okay, warning is okay, fine. Okay, so now first step is on body load. So we will write here on load, body load. On body load, we want first script. So function body load. On body load, we want the details categories list to load. all others will not be there, only the categories. So first I will write categories is a collection. In this, we will put first item as select category, select a category. After that, we have electronics, we have footwear. So we have fashion like this. Now these must be added into the drop down. The drop down list here is, we are having the drop down. LST categories is the ID. So we have to first, we will create a separate function. So function load categories. Categories. It is a function in that LST categories document get element by ID LST categories. It is accessing the list of categories. Now we have to create a loop for where item of categories. For every item, we need to create an option. So document dot create element option. Okay. This option dot text, it option contains item. Option dot value, that's also item. What it will submit, what it will display. Now this option must be added into LST categories. Dot append child option. That's ready. Now I want this load categories to happen on body load. So on body load, we have to call load categories function. Now you can see the categories list is ready. So we are dynamically doing that. User, whenever page loads, automatically the list of category will be there. So it loads the categories. Okay, good. Now when user selects electronics, electronic products must come. When user selects footwear, footwear products should come. The second drop down will change. It will not contain standard list. The second drop down will change. It will not have any standard list. So how do we manage that? How we can handle that? So now in the collection, so we need separate collection for electronics, footwear, and fashion. So where electronics is equal to, so here it's an array. In that first select electronic product. And we have some JBL speakers. Like we have some earpods like this. Another footwear. So in footwear collection, so we have select footwear. And here we have Nike casuals and Lee Cooper boot. Okay. Now we have fashion and select fashion product. And we have shirt and jeans. Now important is initially which one out of these three should display in LST products. This is LST products, second drop down. Which one have to display out of those? It's not ready because they will be changing. So at one time it will be electronics, another time it will be footwear. So I will create another array called products, and it is empty. It is an empty array. We are creating empty array. empty array. So what should happen is there is an empty array. This array we will use for this LST products. That means what I will do. So I will write another function, load products. So here var LST products document dot get element by ID LST products, and here we are writing a for loop for var item of products, but products is an empty array for var item of products, and we will create an option document dot create element option, and into that option dot text is equal to item, option dot value is equal to item, then LST products dot append child that option. You are doing iteration on empty products and you are loading it. So you are doing iteration on empty products because this products doesn't contain anything, and you are adding that into this LST products. So that's okay. Why? Because what will happen now is whenever user changes the category, so when user changes the category, that means we will write on change. So we will define a function category changed. So whenever the category is changed on change, this method will fire up. Okay, let's write the function category changed. Okay, what should happen on category changed? We should get the name of the category they selected. That means we need to get the value of this LST categories. So I will create a variable selected category is equal to document get element by ID LST categories dot value. It will get the selected category name. You can test that first. So we will put console.log. So selected category. That's how we can test it. Observe carefully now. So open the console, inspect, and go to the console here. Yep. And here now select the category and see. So I'm selecting a category here, electronics. That electronics is coming. It's working fine. I selected footwear. Footwear is coming. Fashion is coming. Select a category is also coming. That is also an option. So that means it is able to access the value correctly. Okay, fine. Then what we do is we will pass this into a switch. In the switch, what we do is we will pass the selected category. Into the switch, we are passing the selected category. 1 second.